GST revenue collections for the month of August slowed down to the lowest level seen in FY19. Now, overall, the mop-up is below 94,000 crore rupees, and the steady decline could spell trouble for the government. Firstly, the centre has to contend with only 11 months of GST revenue in FY19. The April collection of over 1 lakh crore rupees will be accounted for in FY18. The monthly average of the collection so far is around 95,000 crore rupees, and that is approximately 20,000 crore rupees below the asking rate of 1.15 lakh crore rupees that the centre needs to achieve revenue neutrality. So the big question is, will the decline in GST revenue strain the government's coffers and throw its fiscal math out of whack? Before we speak with some key members of the GST Council, Timsy Jaipuria is here with a breakup of the GST collections so far in this financial year. Timsy.
The numbers are in. We have had 1 year of GST revenue collections, and guess what? It is going to be a challenging year. Taking a cricket analogy, the asking rate is behind the current rate. Let me tell you why. In the 4 months ending August, we saw a peak collections of 96,000 odd crore rupees in the month of June. This is the gross collection, and going by the figures, June was the best month so far. The asking rate per month, as per our official data, is around 1.15 lakh crore rupees. This means we are falling short of our target by around 20,000 crore rupees per month. A clarification for this table: the April numbers which you're seeing are in excess of 1 lakh crore rupees are the actual collections of March, which will be accounted and budgeted in FY18. So these are the collections so far for the month of March only, for which I've been seeing in the month of April. So net, we are yet to cross the 1 lakh crore figure this fiscal. Let's look at the central GST numbers. You see the peak was reported in the month of May, but numbers have been more or less consistent around 15,000 odd crore rupees, which is not of much of a worry. But states, let's move to states GST. We saw a peak of June reported in the month of July at rupees 22,000 odd crore rupees. In fact, many manufacturing states right now are in deficit, such as Maharashtra, Gujarat and Delhi, which is leading to a concern for the states. So July collections reported in August was the lowest so far in this fiscal. This means every month we are seeing a gap of over 20,000 odd crore rupees adding up. And this clearly is going to spell trouble for the government if in the coming months, especially during the festive season, GST collections don't go northwards.
Joining us now is the Finance Minister of Kerala, Mr. Thomas Isaac. Mr. Isaac, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV18. Before I talk to you about the situation in Kerala, so let me get your thoughts in on the GST collections. We now have a one-year picture, and if I were to just look at the trend for FY19, the asking rate is over 1 lakh crores, but the average works out to about 95,000 crores. Do you believe that given the current situation, it is going to be very difficult to go in for any further rate rationalization?
Yes, we do. We have done enough rationalization. Look at the average GST rates. If you take the combined state and central taxes before pre-GST, average rate would be something like 40 to 50% lower. And I don't think it is even revenue neutral now. And therefore, this kind of constant tinkering with rates should stop. We should allow the system to stabilize and see what is the long-term effect. Then only again tinker with the rate. I'm totally opposed to any further changes in the rates.
Okay, you're totally opposed to any further changes in the rates. What is the expectation then, Mr. Isaac? Because in the last GST Council meeting also, you would have gotten a sense of the various measures that have been put in place, started with the e-way bill to try and ensure that collections pick up. But we've trended lower, and the full impact of the rate cuts has not been seen yet. It is probably going to be seen in the next month, and of course the impact of Kerala has also shown up in the numbers. So what's your own expectation, given where we are today, and what you expect in the months ahead?
Last time's rate cut is going to severely impact upon the SGST. Our SGST has been something like 700 crores. Which we think we are afraid would go below 600 crores with these rate cuts.
Okay, so you're anticipating a further reduction in collections on account of the rate cuts that were announced on the 21st of July?
Otherwise, I mean, see, the compliance is rising because system is not there. Therefore, you can't expect compliance will take care of the rate cut. So whatever rates that have cut logically should reflect in the tax collection. See, first of all, India is not a heavily taxed state. Our tax GDP ratio is 18%. 14 to 18%, things around, which is far below international standard or even the other emerging economies. And therefore, it depends upon your vision, what you do with the state government. If you have a vision of providing health service, education, welfare to your citizens, then, well, we have chosen that path. We would like to have a higher tax GDP ratio. We attempt to offer to our citizens something like a Nordic countries, so their standard of their quality of life. And we need to be near the tax GDP ratio, but we cannot run such a system with this kind of income. And therefore, I think in the last GST Council, I frankly spoke up against the trend. See, all the state finance ministers sitting here, they have been, including me, producing budgets in the state government. And I am certain every one of us have thought 100 times before reduce the rate. In fact, criticism has been obviously increasing the rate. But come to the GST Council, you think it is not something of our matter, something very different. So you have a competitive reduction in the rates taking place. Some state government wants to have something, then I think, okay, my state should have that thing. So it is going on. So there must be a stop to it. It's high time we stop it.
Sure. Okay. Let me ask you a few specific questions, sir, to do with Kerala. You had said that you would approach the GST Council with the demand to impose a cess to take care of the emergency situation on account of the floods. Are you intending to go through with that?
Yes, sir. I intend to seek an appointment with the Union Finance Minister and personally hand to him this our appeal because we can't take any decision in the GST Council without support of the central government. The voting structure is that. And therefore, we would urge upon them. Now, look at my situation. Now, I need to raise a huge amount of revenues, at least 10,000 crores in revenue expenditure. About 3-4 may come from the very generous support from the centrally sponsored schemes, but definitely 6,000 crores. Suppose I am not able to raise these revenues, then what would it imply? My fiscal deficit is going to go up by that amount. My revenue deficit is going to widen. Already we have such a high revenue deficit. I don't want that to be widening again. But what choice do we have? Yeah? I mean, central government would not give that much grant.
So
they have their own problems. But then it can't even tax because all taxation powers are given up. Therefore, in such dire circumstances, there must be some federal flexibility of a state government to mobilize resources. Otherwise, it's a falsity of federalism.
Okay, so that will continue to be a fair point. Let me then ask you, sir, about the quest to try and bring in funds from overseas. While the aid has not been accepted by Indian government, you have now brought KPMG on board to try and chart out a way of raising funds overseas, as well as going about rebuilding Kerala from ground up.
Well, there are the migrants, Kerala migrants abroad. We have been trying to strengthen the ties with the native state. We have constituted a World Assembly of Malayalis, which we meet along with our MLAs every year. So now we have country representative delegates to this council. So they are going to make a big effort to raise, at least 1 month earning of salary of every Malayali should go into a Kerala reconstruction fund. And I am certain the Malayali diaspora across the world is going to generously help. What is wrong with that? See, now you say you don't accept aid.
Nothing wrong,
but
nothing wrong, sir.
You accept it. No, wait. You accept aid from America, from Great Britain, Russia, and Germany, and 5 countries. Their aid is acceptable, while Nordic countries, which are so liberal, how much more liberal than these countries, their aid, you think, is below our dignity to receive. Why should it be? Or the UAE aid they want to give. See, more than half the population in that country belongs to my state. And we have played such an important role in the construction of UAE.
I understand, sir, but...
Yeah.
I understand, but I guess that debate has now ended. But very quickly, sir, let me ask you about what the mandate is to KPMG. What do you hope to achieve by bringing KPMG on board?
Now, see, KPMG or other consulting agencies, they are already working for our government in the sense of making projects and preparations. So, we know what to do with Kerala. But now, to formulate it in a project format, we would like to have more professional help. For example, we have taken Tata Consultancy to prepare the project on how to rehabilitation work in Sabarimala Temple. Yes, we have taken that. So KPMG, for certain projects we want to formulate, we would seek their help. Not only them, other consultancy agencies also, because we are in a hurry. It's a program that will be implemented in 1.5 years. So we are seeking their help.
Okay. We wish you the very best of luck, Mr. Isaac. As always, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV18. Thomas Isaac, Finance Minister of Kerala, on the GST collections, unequivocally saying that there should be no further rate rationalizations because of where collections currently are and the gap between the asking rate and the current run rate. Well, joining us now is the representative of the state of Goa, Mauvin Godinho. Mr. Godinho, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV18. Is there a sense of discomfort now, given the asking rate and the current revenue run rate, sir?
Collections, as you're just now quoting, certainly it is a little bit of disappointment, but not totally on unexpected lines, because as you know, there was a rate cut on the 21st, which was thereafter notified on the 27th.
Yes.
So people withhold their purchases, the sellers don't sell, and that sort of gap is bound to be there.
Yeah.
But and otherwise also, July and August are supposed to be lean months. You don't have that much of sales happening. If you look at the past trends, even when VAT was there, that has been the experience. And it is expected to actually pick up come October, November. You will see the actual result of the cuts that have taken place. More sales, there is a reduction of the tax even on the white goods, as you have seen. The manufacturing activity also has picked up in a big way. So overall, that is going to make an impact, and it's going to reflect in the collections actually in October, November.
Okay.
And it will be there for everyone to see the
Mr. Godinho, broadly, the asking rate is a little over 1 lakh crores monthly, that is. And so far in FY19, we have not come close to that number. There's only once that we have touched that number, and that was in April, sir. And that number has been counted as part of FY18's budget. So, which is why I ask you that, is there now a sense of discomfort within the council as well as within the government when it comes to the GST collections?
Only one thing could perhaps happen there is that we were looking for further reductions and further rationalization and lowering of rates for some other items. That may take a temporary backseat looking at the revenues. But we will get the answers that actually which will make the decision making easier. As I said, come October or November, figures they will speak for themselves. The figures themselves will speak. At that point of time, what we have been looking at, something like 1 lakh collections, it's bound to happen with the overall buoyancy. It's bound to happen that time around.
Let me ask you, Mr. Godinho, for the picture as far as the state of Goa itself is concerned. You've been one of those states where the deficit number has been quite significant. What is the current deficit that the state of Goa, for instance, is seeing? I mean, of course, it's compensated by the government, but nevertheless, what kind of a deficit are you looking at today?
Certainly, it is a matter of concern if you look at the figures in Goa. But what has basically impacted us a lot is the 5%. Goa is a tourism state.
Yes.
And the collection from restaurants and hotels has particularly affected us at 5%. When previously we used to get something like almost 18%. So that has made a big impact on our revenues. But wherever the plugging that has to be done, we have been able to do it. And if you look at the trend that is and the compliance that is taking place, we are quite confident that in 2 or 3 months we will perhaps not need as much compensation as we are seeking now.
How much you getting, sir? What is the compensation that you currently are availing of?
But even if I may say so, even the e-way bill is working. It is working well. That also takes a little time to actually impact in terms of collection of revenues, which is also bound to happen.
What is the compensation that you're availing of today?
I don't. In fact, I don't have the figures in front of me.
Okay.
So I'm not able to tell you.
Okay, but you feel that given where we currently stand in terms of revenue collection, it is going to be harder to push forth with more rate rationalization, and perhaps a decision on that front will be only taken closer to October after you see the collections and the data that comes in. Mr. Godinho,
as I said, when there is a feel-good feeling, which is bound to happen only when there is overall buoyancy and we cross 1 lakh plus, then that will automatically help us to rationalize rate or lower rates or even give pass on more benefits to the consumers. Okay,
till that time, it is likely to be pause mode for the GST Council on rates. But Mauvin, Godinho, always a pleasure. Appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV18's GST Centimeter. That is the representative from the state of Goa, Mauvin Godinho. With that, it is time for us to wrap up the CNBC TV18 special. From all of us here, goodbye. Many thanks for watching.